of Susanne Bartsch opened at the museum at FIT on Thursday, September 17th. It celebrated the outrageous fashions of Susanne Bartsch over 4 decades of party throwing in New York City. The exhibition on the lower level of the FIT museum featured mannequins dressed in clothes worn by Susanne Bartsch. In this case, a garment made by the British designer Rachel Auburn, best known for some of her work with the Blitz Kids. Here you see a costume that was made by Leigh Bowery. It's a coat that has a star inset, looks like it's made out of wool, and people think that Leigh Bowery mostly made costumes for himself, but in fact he made them for other people also. This is another Leigh Bowery outfit, topped with a Brazilian papier-mâché head. This one features a heart-shaped applique over the chest area, and it's a nice little day smock that you might wear to the park. One of my favorite parts of the exhibition was this rotating wheel that had all these mannequins that were dressed in corset costumes that were made by Mr. Pearl. Mr. Pearl is this British freak who I remember came to the New York City nightclubs in the late 80s and early 90s, and he had a penchant for very small waists. So he trained his waist to be tiny, and he made lots of corsets for people to make their waist tiny. Here we have more corsets by Mr. Pearl. He was a contemporary of Leigh Bowery's in London, and I believe I met him with Leigh Bowery or through Leigh Bowery. At some point he moved to New York from London, and he very quickly after his move began working in the nightclubs. Michael Alig often hired him to work at the various parties that he threw, and he would come dressed in a very small waisted corset outfit, and often his face was obscured by some kind of veil or other type of hand-sewn garment, similar to something that Leigh Bowery might have worn back in the day. Here's some more corsetry by Mr. Pearl. You can see that there was this very elaborate needlework on this. I don't know where he had the time to do this, because believe me, he would go out partying, and I presume he must have done that in the daytime when he woke up, but that's very time-consuming work for anybody that's never done it. Perhaps he worked really fast. This one I loved, also by Mr. Pearl. He had this way of making ruffles into beautiful shapes, and in this case he's made a heart-shaped corset for either Valentine's Day or Halloween. It's not clear. Some of my personal favorite costumes that were worn by Susanne Bartsch were made by the designers Zaldy and Mathu. Zaldy moved to New York City around 1988, and he attended Fashion Institute of Technology, and he very quickly became one of the founding members of the Club Kids. He was known on the scene for his own outrageous and androgynous looks, and over the course of a few years his look became very feminine. At some point he started looking like a drag queen, and even walked the fashion runways for some designers dressed as a woman. But he and Matthew really excelled at creating outrageous looks for Susanne. This look, I believe, was from Suzanne's wedding. I'm not sure though. This one is a space age look. There were a lot of space looks for Susanne. That was one of her recurring themes. It was one of the themes that the designers she used often resorted to. They really liked the outer space look. Showgirls, 1920s, was another favorite look, especially in the eyelashes and eyebrows and hairdos. And here we've got like an 80s looking ensemble. The World of Susanne Bartsch runs through December 5th, so if you're coming to New York anytime soon, you should definitely check it out. The museum's open Tuesday through Friday, noon to 8, and it's open on Saturdays too, from 10 to 5. Check it out. This is Ernie Glam reporting for The Pew. Thanks for watching.